movement called the Tea Party is making headlines across the country on their mission to take America back from a government they say stopped listening to its citizens. Their critics call them angry, misinformed, even racist. So here to tell you exactly what they're fighting for is the director of the Tea Party Express, Amy Kramer. Welcome, Amy.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
We want a few of the things floating around in the news, but first, can you explain exactly, in your mind, what the Tea Party is?
We're all about fiscal issues. 3 core principles and values: fiscal responsibility, limited government, and free markets.
Okay.
No social issues.
No
we don't
social
go there.
issues.
None.
So you're pro-choice, or you don't?
It doesn't matter. We don't talk about it.
I see.
Purely about the money and how it's
all
being
about the
spent.
money.
Talk about the subgroups, and who is your leader?
We
Who
have,
are you and who is your leader?
we have no leader. The leaders are all across the country. We have the ability to come together and work on a national level when we need to on issues. But for the most part, the strength of this movement is on a local and state level. And that's where they have their local leaders.
I found it interesting when I read in the New York Times what the Tea Party comprised itself of, was comprised of. Then the majority do not think that Sarah Palin is qualified to be president. Is that, you back that up?
Well, I don't know it for a fact.
It was a poll in the New York Times.
I don't know that for a fact. I mean, I know that people would like to tag her as our leader. She's not our leader.
Okay.
Well, speaking of Sarah Palin, your group, which is the Tea Party Express, you recently ended your nationwide bus tour, which Sarah Palin kicked off.
Yes.
So now, are most of the people in the Tea Party movement Republican?
No, that's one thing about the movement that people don't understand. We are not an arm of the Republican Party or the GOP. We have independents, Democrats, libertarians. We cross all political party lines, and it's simply because people are concerned about the fiscal issues, the spending.
Isn't your party more conservative than the Republican Party? That's what I read.
Fiscally.
Yes, fiscally. But, I mean, there's no denying that people are angrier at the Republican Party than they are at the Democrat Party, because this spending started back with Bush. The spending's out of control.
Good. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah.
So this didn't come out of any dislike for Obama.
No, what people don't understand, this is not about President Obama. Mm-hmm. President Obama and President Bush have one common thread, and that is Congress. They need Congress to do what they do. The spending started with Bush. It's continued through Obama, and this is about our federal government and the spending that is out of control.
So let me ask you, what is the answer then that you guys have presented to Congress or to President Obama that says, here are core ways we feel this can change?
Well, we need to start the dialogue. There's not even any dialogue going on. And, part of it's the media's fault, that it's been so politicized on both sides. Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody that's for fiscal irresponsibility. I mean, let's sit down and start those discussions. Mm-hmm. I'm not an economist. I don't work on the U.S. budget. I'm not qualified to do that. But, when our families are cutting across the nation because they're losing jobs and they're losing income, I mean, our federal government can't sustain this. They need to cut, too.
Mm-hmm. The poll also said that 25% think that the present administration favors blacks over whites and the poor over the rich. Do you back that? What do you think of that?
Well, I haven't seen that, but this isn't about race or gender. I mean, this is about fiscal responsibility and about being Americans. This isn't about being Democrat or Republican.
You just mentioned race too. I mean, a lot of people are saying that the Tea Party.
We'll get to that question in a minute.
You just see how many days I can actually put my foot in my mouth in a row.
The Tea Party.
That many of your members are racist. They're showing photos of kind of a whitewashed crowd, and they're alleging that it's full of racists.
Anti-gay as well.
I mean, that's what the media is showing. A woman walking around with a monkey.
I think they should
go back to Kenya, all that stuff.
My response is, we are not racist. This is about the fiscal issues, as I've said. And, of course, they want to discredit us, and that's what they're attempting to do. You're going to have fringe in any group.
But why not get rid of them? Why not say to them?
And that's my whole point, is that you go to these events and somebody shows up with a racist sign. The people are going to surround them. They're probably going to take the sign from them and boot them out of there. We don't want them there. They're discrediting us.
Is it possible that you, as one of the spokespeople for the party, can stand in front of the media and say, this is not us, we do not accept this, and say to the folks who are coming out, we don't want you if this is what you're bringing.
Yes.
This is only about fiscal stuff. It's not about race. It's not about President Obama. It's about what we need to do. Can you do that?
We have done that. There's been a national federation, a Tea Party Federation form where it's groups coming together, and it's all about the messaging. And we released a press release a couple of weeks ago dealing with exactly
Will you do
this.
it on television right now?
Yes, we're not about, this is not a racist movement. We don't want you here. Go away if that's what you're about. We're about the fiscal
Thank you.
issues
That's
and
great.
about being American.
Now, another question I want to ask you.
It was reported yesterday that in an upcoming book written by Newsweek columnist Jonathan Alter, that President Obama referred to your group as the Teabaggers, which is, if you don't know, it's a derogatory sexual slur. So what's your reaction to that being called a Teabagger?
Don't you just hate that term? I mean, I think we all hate that term. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. And no one should use it. I mean, and just because he's president doesn't give him a pass.
Some
Let's
people
not
equate
use
it
it.
with the N-word, though, which I think is
It's
rather...
just as disgraceful.
It's not true. I mean,
Wait,
you can't equate a silly phrase like the Teabaggers with the N-word, which really vilifies an entire race of people.
We shouldn't be using either of those
But to
terms.
equate them minimizes the other, I think.
Is it possible that he made the same kind of slip that Elizabeth just made? Is it possible it was a mistake, or did he?
Well, it's possible. I mean, Elizabeth's in trouble for that.
I've been reading it all over.
I just wondered if, but you know, we all know better, but sometimes we go to say something and the wrong thing comes out. I wonder if that's what happened. I mean, I haven't
Maybe
all morning because I kept hearing it.
I think surrounding the Tea Party, there's been a bunch of, notions that have gone awry, and I thank you for coming here and putting them to rest, and certainly piqued more curiosity too. Our thanks to Amy Kramer. We'll be right back.